Here we are in Ashley's 12-week booty series. We're going to show you guys how she's going to grow 3 inches in the next 12 weeks, only wanting to grow her booty while maintaining her toned, lean legs. Like I showed you guys before, we did grow 1 inch in 5 weeks. Now we are working to get that inch back because life happens. She got busy, she had to shoot her movie, she lost it, but muscle memory is the thing. So we're gonna get it back in the next couple weeks. We're gonna take creatine to help us speed up the process. Measuring the middle of her butt, we got an inch pump. So she measured 34 inches to start this workout. And this is how we got to 35, and she's flexing her butt right now with this pump. So here we are, 1 inch pump, and this is the glute workout we did for it. Here we are in her 12-week booty series. So she saw an inch growth in her booty focus series. She's someone that only wants to grow her booty while maintaining her toned, lean legs. And she saw an inch in 5 weeks. Now we did take a break. So now we are coming back and we're gonna get that inch back in the next couple weeks, but we're gonna show you guys what this glute focus workout looks like today in her 12-week booty series. So warm up, we always do a minute of lateral walks and then we'll do some step backs. Go ahead and do 15 each leg. Just with the fabric band, get warmed up. We do the same warm up every time. But she saw great growth in the first 5 weeks. Now we're gonna get creatine going. We're gonna show you guys what she's mixing with that to get it flavor. But this is gonna help her speed up that growth and build more muscle mass in her glutes. And one, getting caught up again, because like I said, we had to take some time off. She was shooting her movie, lost that inch, but she's got the muscle memory now. I'm gonna show you guys the 3 compounds that she'll be doing consistently in her routine to work on increasing her weights that are glute focused. But first, I always like to get some isolation going first. So we're gonna do straight leg kickbacks. Here we go. So we got the dual cables. So we got the 2 arms coming out. I just split the cables with the bench. But if you guys just have the normal ones that come off like this, it's the same thing. You're just putting the bench on the opposite side from where you're kicking. We're gonna go 15 each leg, making sure you guys are getting full hip extension on your kickbacks, all your kickbacks, knee up to glute level to contract the upper glutes. But we're just gonna start with some straight legs. I always recommend starting your glute workouts with your compounds at the beginning and then working your way into your accessory exercises and then your burnout. But I just like to start getting some blood flow going with some straight legs, get the hip extension warmed up. So we're gonna show you guys the sumo squats, the hip thrust, and the RDLs today. The 3 main compounds we'll be doing every week.
Wow.
And then the glute isolation on top of that. And a little bit of Ashley's complaining too.
A little.
So the sumo squats, the elevated sumo squats for the booty. So we elevated the feet so that she can get into a deficit like she is here, getting this hip under the knees, but keeping the knees open, right? So that opening up your toes will help you guys feel like you have that mobility and that flexibility to get down without butt winking. But these are really good. Putting all the way back on the heels, and in order to do that, you have to keep the weight close to you. You have to, or else you're gonna fall back, just like that. And then getting that chest just about 45 over your hips. Good. These are really good though. But that's the one thing I would say is open up those toes a little more than you think you have to, because that'll open up your hips and allow you to get a little deeper, working for your hip flexion. Good. That's it. We are using the BC strength platform, but you guys just need a bench or even the BC box if you guys get it. But we're gonna get into the hip thrust using a barbell. But yeah, this is the second compound that we'll be doing in our routine at least 2 times a week. If it's not on that 3rd day, it'll either be a single leg hip thrust or maybe just a glute bridge. But here we go. Gracias. Teamwork. Now we're gonna do 3 sets of 15. So it depends on what set we're doing, right? So like on a Monday, where she's also got sumo squats, and let's just say curtsy lunges, we're only gonna do 3 sets of the hip thrust, trying to increase the weight as much as possible, staying in that 10 to 15 rep range. And then we're gonna superset with the band. So then just to get that stress, so you can get going now. And then we'll superset right after with the band for 20 more. But then on a day like, let's just say Wednesday, on a glute focus day where she's not doing any other compounds but the hip thrust, we could do something like 5 sets and then do a failure set, or just doing more sets with the load. But on a day where she has more wear and tear on her body doing compounds, you guys want to just keep the sets lighter and then get those reps higher. So then you can superset with a band right after to put that time, to get that time under tension in your glutes. Just get 20 more reps. So that's what we're gonna do today. 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps. Try to up that weight as much as we can, but controlled, just like she is here. Good tempo. Get that mind to muscle connection. Get that contraction in your glutes. Beautiful. But knees open, right? She's keeping her knees open as she comes up and down. Good. All right, so now we're gonna go band. There you go. And the band, when you guys are doing these with the band, that'll be your focus the whole time, is stretch that band, keep the knees open even more, exaggerate it, and that'll help train your mind for when you have the weight on. Yeah, no, that's good. It'll burn more if you guys have the band closer to your knees as well. It's harder, but that's something you can work towards if you can't do it just yet. But yeah, we're gonna go 20. Now she just focus on that mind to muscle connection. Full hip extension, right? But as you guys get hip extension, make sure you guys get the pelvic tilt as well, where you squeeze your abs and your glutes together, or else you're just gonna hip extend and you might start getting too far up with your rib cage when you have the load on, and you're gonna feel that stress in your lower back. So make sure you guys close it, squeeze. As soon as you get up to the hip extension, squeeze the abs and the glutes together like she is. Yeah, there you go. You just don't want to get in that habit of getting that hip extension too high without a pelvic tilt. Good. Beautiful form. We got the Peach Gains Orange Band here. Medium size, heavy resistance. Lovely. All right, so we got ankle weights on here. We're doing the overextended lying lateral leg raises for the side glutes to superset with the hip thrust. So you're gonna go, yeah, there you go. You can scoot down on the bench, You just wanna get at the edge so you have the room for this knee to get all the way down like that. Good. So notice how her toe and her knee are facing down, right? That's going to keep her hip closed so that she's getting full hip extension and actually activating her lateral glute. And you'll get some upper glute contraction here too. But if your toe is facing up or forward in front of you, that tends to open up your hip, and then you're just gonna fold at your hip. You gotta stay close, and you're kind of like kicking behind you is what it's gonna feel like. But getting comfortable, get this leg out of the way like she has it here, and we can even get this a little more comfortable because you're reaching. Yeah, just relax it. Find a box, something to just relax it, get it out of the way so you can focus on this part. We got 15 to 20. Good. And now we're gonna switch. We got 5-pound ankle weights on.
20.
More like 20, you said?
Yeah.
But we'll do usually on a compound day. So on her Monday compound day, which is anterior chain, boop, and this, yeah. Just get a little more comfortable.
Okay.
That's good. We'll do elevated sumo squats and hip thrusts, let's just say. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of curtsy lunges, like 2 sets, but we'll get the compound set at the beginning, and then the rest is isolation. So we'll do overextended lying lateral leg raises. We'll do straight leg kickbacks to superset with those compounds in the beginning of the workout. And then let's just say before the burnout, we'll do another sort of glute isolated exercise like the 45-degree back extensions. And then we'll get to the burnout with the accessory exercises, high reps, light resistance. And that's where we're just working for the pump. Really good. And then Friday, you'll see compounds like good mornings and hip thrusts together, or RDLs and hip thrusts together. But today I'm going to show you guys the sumos, the barbell hip thrusts, and then the RDLs, just to show you guys a trick I'm doing here in the gym and at home to get you guys more hip flexion so that you're activating more of the under glutes. So here we go. We're back on the hip thrust for her 3rd set. One more set. Here we go. Last set, we went up 20 pounds. So she's gonna go for 10 to 15 again. So So what I want you guys to just pay attention to is even when you start increasing that weight, you're still going to control the load. And you're going to focus on getting hip extension, but then forming the pelvic tilt at the top. So shoulder blades on the pad. Here we go. Knees stay open, digging her heels. Notice how at the top, you're going to feel like you're pushing the bar against your hips is what that pelvic tilt finish is going to feel like. Yep. Such beautiful form. And notice how her rib cage is staying down. It's not getting up. Good. That's where you're actually going to feel that contraction in your upper glutes. Beautiful form. So good. She's got him down to the T. But so important, ladies, keep the knees open. It is so important. Open your toes if you have to, but do not let those knees cave in.
Ooh, that was hard.
That was good. So, you can record.
You want this, sorry, is this higher or lower?
You can get a little higher. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's just the higher you guys have it, the more you guys will feel that resistance. So obviously it's working towards that if you can't do it yet. But I want you guys to pay attention to the form without the bar on it. This is the most important part. You need to get that mind to muscle connection. Getting used to feeling that contraction in your upper glutes. Notice how when she reaches full hip extension, she's squeezing her abs and her glutes together. Rib cage is staying low. So when she gets to the top, her knees, her hips, and her rib cage are all leveled. So good. That's the whole point of us supersetting with just the band. It's to get that mind to muscle connection now. It's a little harder when you guys start to up your weight and you have heavier loads on you to get that mind to muscle connection where you're feeling the contraction. This helps a lot. Getting that metabolic stress, which is the whole point of hypertrophy and how you guys get muscle growth. Good. These are really good. And that's good. You're a normal RDL, right? So what I want you to do here is to get your calves pushed up against this bench. So the whole point of this bench is to help train her mind to sit more to where she's creating more hip flexion for more under glute activation. There you go. Bring your feet a little closer though. Yeah, there you go. So the whole point of that though is you guys got to lean against it. Yeah. So make sure it's, sturdy enough for you guys to lean against it and not fall back. Now, everything's looking good. The only thing we need to change now is tuck the chin and tilt forward a little more as you get down there. There you go. So bring that chest over your knees. A really good way for you guys to train your minds on getting more hip flexion in your RDLs for more under glute stretch. Same with your good mornings, but that's where you're stretching the under glutes. I want to show you guys today is in your hip flexion. So the third compound I wanted to show you guys today in our glute workout, but in our glute routine that we'll be doing. So she'll do this on a Friday with, let's just say, hip thrusts. So good. 15 reps, either with a barbell or dumbbells. Yeah. How's that feeling? Good? Okay. Those look good though. Really good. And then also making sure your knees are not coming in, right? With these two. But such a good way for you guys to practice these and feeling it in your under glutes versus too much in your hammies. Super. Being on the bench, the box, or whatever you're leaning up against, but you're not, right? You just want to train your mind into just creating more hip flexion to activate more under glutes. These are so good. So we're going to go 10 to 15 is normally what we'll do on our posterior chain day if we're doing good mornings or RDLs. So good. So I would say split up your 3-day workout split. Monday, 2 compounds, that being sumo squats, hip thrusts, 3 to 4 glute isolation exercises. And those 3 or 2 of those glute isolation exercises will be a burnout at the end of your workout. Wednesday, full glute isolation day. Let's just say you start the workout with single leg hip thrust or glute bridges. The rest are isolating the glutes from top, middle, under to lateral. And then Friday's posterior chain day, where we'll do hip thrusts, let's just say RDLs for good mornings, and then 3 to 4 glute isolation exercises with the burnout to end. Always end a glute workout with the burnout. That's how you guys get that pump. Good. Being on the bench, the box, whatever you're leaning up against, but you're not, right? You just want to train your mind into just creating more hip flexion to activate more under glutes. These are so good. So we're going to go 10 to 15 is normally what we'll do on our posterior chain day if we're doing good mornings or RDLs. So good. So I would say split up your 3-day workout split. Monday, 2 compounds, that being sumo squats, hip thrusts, 3 to 4 glute isolation exercises. And those 3 or 2 of those glute isolation exercises will be a burnout at the end of your workout. Wednesday, full glute isolation day. Let's just say you start the workout with single leg hip thrust or glute bridges. The rest are isolating the glutes from top, middle, under to lateral. And then Friday is posterior chain day, where we'll do hip thrusts, let's just say RDLs or good mornings, and then 3 to 4 glute isolation exercises with the burnout to end. Always end a glute workout with the burnout. That's how you guys get that pump. Good. All right, here we go. So we end every glute workout with a burnout. This is how you guys get the pump, which is the most important part to your glute growth. So we're gonna do 20 frog pumps with the band, putting it mid-thigh. Feet elevated, I'd say 20, but if you're flat on the ground, I'd do 30. Really work for that metabolic stress. But making sure you get your back flat every time, reset the pelvic tilt, get full hip extension, and then form that posterior pelvic tilt every time, keeping the rib cage down. Focus on the mind to muscle connection in your burnouts. That's the whole point of getting to the burnouts, is really working for that stress and that pump. These are really good. So 20 to 30 is what I would work for, keeping that band mid-thigh. Making sure you keep your knees open though, right? It's not a glute bridge, it's a frog pump. So if you have to, bring the band down lower so that you can keep your knees open. Really good. Those are pretty. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do the ankle weights. So we're going to have 2 rounds of this burnout. So we got the ankle weights on. She's going to do 20 quadruped kicks. So not a donkey, right? Because the donkey's out here. Quadruped, keeping it 90 degrees. So you're going to get your heel. It's like you want to feel like your heel's tapped in the ceiling. It's all just focusing on that heel, staying towards your head. If anything, you don't want it to get out here. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. But burnouts are usually 2 rounds because she did 3 compounds today. But if you feel like you have more, do 3 rounds of your burnouts. But we usually do 2 rounds. But like I said, she had a little more wear and tear on the body today. So we're only going to do 2 rounds. Good. But just like this, getting her knee to full hip extension, just above glute level. Yep. Keeping the heel towards your head. Feeling like you're tapping your heel to the ceiling, not letting it flare out this way. We got 5-pound ankle weights. She's going to do 20 each leg. You can switch now. Yeah. Good. So good. But again, end your glute workouts with the pump, ladies. You got to have burnouts. Burnouts are how you produce that pump. So before I let you guys go, remember Monday, 2 compounds, 3 to 4 glute isolation exercises. This is going to be our 3-day workout split. Wednesday, full glute focus day. So maybe we start with hip thrust and then glute isolation. So I guess you are doing a compound on Wednesday, but that's fine because it's only hip thrusts, which are focused on your glutes. Friday, posterior chain. You're going to do, let's just say hip thrusts, good mornings, or RDLs like we showed you today. And then you'll have 3 to 4 glute isolation exercises in that day, and everyone with a burnout. So good. So like I said, the supplement she is taking, creatine, so it's not flavored. So she's gonna do it with BCAAs, which is muscle recovery, fruit punch, so delicious. If you guys want pre-workout, right? So you're gonna take this during your workout. So if you feel like you need pre-workout, whether you work out at the end of your day or early in the morning, you can mix this with pre-workout too to give it flavor. But we're gonna do BCAAs. And then she's gonna use it in her peach gains shaker cup. So, like I said, if you're somebody like her who has room, who's naturally a skinnier girl, has fast metabolism, you're trying to put on size, creatine is going to be your best friend.
And good for the brain.
And good for the brain.